Hey, yo. You ready? Let's do it. Yeah.
Hot in it, mate.
Oh yeah, we like it hot though, don't we?
Welcome to the sweatbox.
Because you're lubed up.
Well, yeah, well, on theme, mate. Very on theme. Otherwise known as the studio in Bamber Bridge. Otherwise known as.
There's not many days like this, is there? It's I don't know. We're just not built for it, are we?
This heat is wild, mate. It's wild, and it really affects my running performance, mate. So I set off. I tried to do a run yesterday, like an actual speed session, and I got like halfway through and just turned around, went home.
I think there's a week with the speed sessions. It's an easy run of it.
Yeah.
Easy run condition.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Everything's got to change. Everything's got to change, mate.
That's later on in that as well, isn't it?
I know. Well, you think, I'll leave it till like even now, like 8:30ish, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I was watching before. It was it the light bulb effect? I don't know what it was. It was basically saying that with the heat and the water, it's actually not evaporating quick enough, so it's holding water around the heat, if that makes sense.
Oh, right.
So in England it's worse because there's normally that much moisture in the atmosphere. It's not disappearing, it's not cooling it down enough, so it's just sweating.
Humidity in it.
Which is just brutal.
Horrendous. And this morning was like a haze, weren't there?
Yeah, which was mad, yeah.
That's been shocking, mate. You can't breathe in it, can you? This is not about weather, mate. This is about Brig Boys meets Trailskin.
Yeah,
meets Dave Johnson. So something, mate, we've talked about a lot, especially in the trail running team. I feel like you've quite good. You don't blister as much, and even after the 100, I didn't think you were like horrendously bad.
No, but there was no real fast movements to blister, was there? They were just wet, weren't they? I can't remember the wording he was saying before. It's not trench. Trench
lacerations. Lacerations. Yeah.
I think that's what I had, where it was just the feet just having grooves in them.
Oh, it's horrible.
It wasn't trench foot. It wasn't at all, because you know about it for a trench foot.
Yeah. Horrendous though, isn't it? Horrendous. But it's an interesting one because we've never really talked about foot care, because it's something that affects every trail runner, I would probably say.
Especially when you go into those distances, like your 50 mile, especially with the Lakeland coming up with the 50, if it's a wet day around that course, you're going to be involved in it. And the 100, you're definitely going to be involved in it, aren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's good to talk about it in terms of you prepare before it, don't you?
Yeah.
And not on the day itself.
Yeah. Is it, and there's so many different things we kind of do talk into in this, right? Well, what about my shoes? What about my socks? What about Vaseline, plasters, whatever it might be? You fight these battles all the time, and it's just one thing that always winds me up about ultra performances. I always think at the end, I wonder if I never had one blister there, how well you could do in these big distances. So, the solution is out there, mate.
It is out there, and he explained it in terms of the calluses and the hard feet. In terms of he explains it a lot better than what I will. But the different kind of textures in the skin causes the rubbing, doesn't it? And it's pretty basic, but it's something that I've never really looked at and just took it at chance. But you can spend £300 on a pair of trainers, you can spend your £50 on waterproof socks. But realistically, if you're not doing the right fit with your feet, you're kind of set up to fail anyway, aren't you? So. The waterproof and the trainers aren't going to make a difference, are they?
Means nothing, mate.
Once you get your feet out and get them sorted. But to be fair, Alex Atkinson, he's been doing it for ages, hasn't he? And he has, hasn't he?
Well, I was going to talk to him about a blister episode and call it Alex's Blister Corner, ABC. But I was
get
also
him on, bring him down, get him on.
I was also going to call this episode "What the Foot," but I'm risking it with some of these now. I'm struggling with him. Before we get him on though, how are you, mate? How's things going?
Yeah, good.
Ready for the 100?
Jeez. No, I'm not ready.
I know. I just waited to record.
I'm not ready, but I think over the past few days and everything else, I think I'm fired up in terms of it. I'll be at the start line.
Love that.
I'll be back running soon, and then we'll take it from there, won't we?
So how it goes.
Checkpoint at a time.
That's all you can do in these big runs, isn't it?
Checkpoint at a time. I've got 39 hours to beat, and hopefully get half an haircut. So,
and
then that'll motivate me enough, I think.
Oh, once you're on that way, mate, it's getting long, it's getting hot.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's a beautiful bonnet, mate. It's a beautiful bonnet. I'd love that.
It's awful, mate. It's awful.
Absolutely brilliant.
But we're nearly there. Lakeland's nearly back, aren't we?
We're getting there, mate.
And we're both there again.
Can't wait,
the
mate.
Lakeland boys are back.
Cannot wait. The merch is coming out thick and fast.
Coming at you.
Get lubed up.
Yeah.
and get your earphones in with some Trailskin attached to
Lube a
them.
brew and get set up.
Let's get him on, mate. Here's Dave.
Here's Dave, get him on. Go on, Dave.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for
It's getting warm.
Yeah, if we need to take a hydration break, we'll we can
Get
do
them
that.
adverts on. Trailskin adverts in between.
Yeah.
Just Dave lubing himself up in the adverts.
Oh dear. Brilliant. Well, Dave, thank you for coming on to the podcast and welcome. Hope you're all well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dean Carl. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, good. The same kind of a little bit warm today. Hottest day of the year so far. But
Yeah.
otherwise, very good.
Picked
How
a
are you,
great.
how are you, gents?
All good here. Carl, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Everyone's just really, really hot in the studio at the minute, but keeping it professional as always. What's been going on recently for you, Dave, in your running world? Anything exciting?
So, it feels like a long time ago, but we were up at Ultra Trail Snowdonia middle of May. So that was kind of quite a good one. And last week, 2 weeks, we've had the Spine, South Downs Way, Wild Horse 200 Mid Wales, some people doing that. Lots of things that I wasn't at any of them. But some great kind of dot watching and kind of race watching and things like that, which has been really good. And for me personally, just trying to get back out and put some mileage in, and kind of struggling with that at the moment. But yeah, that's just been busy with lots of things going on, which isn't really a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never a bad thing, that is it. Never a bad thing.
No. I think we briefly caught up at the running show, but you seemed really, really busy at that point.
Oh, we've spoken about it before. It's chaos at running show, isn't it?
God.
Chaos.
Yeah, so so this year was our second year at the run show. So kind of part of our history, we launched at the run show back in 2025, and we did what I know in kind of the business world as a planned failure to launch. We didn't tell anyone we were going. We did no marketing. I think we had 8 people on Instagram that followed us at the National Run Show back in 2025. So that was kind of fun. And then this year, 2026, bigger, better location. People would start hearing about Trailskin and what we're offering and what we're doing. It was a busy show. We were lucky. We had some of our ambassadors. We had Hugh Chatfield from Elite Trail Team and Doe, head coach, kind of stopping by as a number of our ambassadors, Rebecca Horman, Kath Thompson, Robin, and a whole bunch of others dropped by as well and hang out on the stand for a bit. And yeah, it was really, really great running show. Great to kind of chat to people and get their feedback on the products as much as anything else where they have been using it, as well as introduce the products to some new people as well.
Yeah, but like you said, it was just chaos. I think I saw you and it was just like, oh yeah, you're right. And then it was just, and then Hugh Chatfield came past me like, this is chaos. and I think we left it at that. But I think how many people they must get through the door at that. It's,
especially because it's Saturday, Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll go into the products in a bit, but how do you go about getting a stall at the running show? Is it straightforward, or is it a bit of have you got to kind of plan ahead?
So it's fairly straightforward. So back when I first did it in 2025, I basically emailed the events team and kind of went, "Hi, we're a new brand. We're launching. Can we get a booth?" And they kind of gave me some options and then paid some money. And then for 2026, I was kind of looking at getting a slightly, I was going to say better, a different location. The first year we were out by kind of the trail running Fiesta, which was a great location, but it was just a bit out in the sticks. So kind of working with the team up at kind of Raccoon Media that run the National Run Show, and they're a great bunch of guys and girls as well there.
Yeah. You were right in the middle, across from SAS, weren't you? Sport. Yeah.
So behind, we had like Shocks behind us and Science in Sport, and near the awesome guys over at Voom as well.
Yeah.
So we had a pretty good location for it as well.
Yeah.
Big names mingling there.
Yeah, I know.
Big names. Like is it Anchorman, where they're all like battling against each other?
Yeah, just the rivalry between.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I guess, like Carl said, we'll talk a little bit around what Trailskin is, but obviously for all our guests, we're really interested in them and what their background is and where they've come from. And for you, it's probably quite an interesting story because you've actually gone into business in the running world. So talk to us a little bit around where the passion first came from and why was there a need for Trailskin?
Yeah, certainly. So kind of I suppose my kind of running backstory has kind of got two tails to it. So a whole bunch of my kind of mates that knew me before I was, let's say 20, kind of always knew me as a runner. So in my kind of teens and early 20s, I was a fairly good runner. Kind of teens, county level cross country in 1500. Back in the kind of, I suppose, mid 90s, showing my age now, there wasn't really a defined career structure as a runner. It was either be good enough to make it into the Olympics or do it as a hobby. And then kind of I kind of rediscovered running in my late 30s. Like a lot of people, life had got in the way, family, jobs or career. And I was at an old school friend's 40th birthday party, and a whole bunch of our old schoolmates were there, and they're like, "Dave, are you still running?" And a good mate of mine kind of came up and patted me on my belly and said, "Does Dave still look like he's running?" And I was like, "Yeah," this kind of sums it up. Yeah. And kind of the next day, probably with a pretty bad hangover, I signed up to do a half marathon, to Cheltenham Half Marathon, and this was 2018. It was like 2018 or 2019, and kind of I remember going out for a training run, and I couldn't run a mile. I'll be honest on it, and it's kind of led to a bit of a personal motto. The first mile is always the hardest, whether that's in running or life or business. Getting up and deciding you're going to do something, like I'm going to go and do this. Great, is the easy bit. Actually following through on that and actually doing it is the harder bit. So the first mile is always the hardest. So kind of started training. That was the Cheltenham Half Marathon in 2019. Got round, not the most enjoyable day out. I think the furthest I ran in training was like 8 miles. But then from that, kind of started getting out on some of my local trails. I live in Cheltenham, so I'm right on the Cotswold Way. So getting out and running lots of trails on the Cotswold Way, and kind of fell in love with trail running, and kind of then skipped lots of levels and signed up to do a 100k race down in North Devon where I'd grown up. So along the North Devon coast path, so a race called North Coast 110, so 110k, do a 110 mile version. Signed up for that, which would have been a year later, September 2020. COVID kind of got in the way and postponed it till 2021. So I kind of I moved from half marathon on the road all the way up to 100k. And then from there, kind of things kind of escalated. Like lots of people, you kind of running's a fairly cheap sport until you get into it and start paying for lots of race entries and however many pairs of 100 shoes and things like that. So yeah, things escalated. I ended up was fortunate enough, and then unfortunate. I got a ballot entry for 2022 into the UTMB CCC.
Wow.
It was like the last year of ballots before they introduced the running stones. And the April of that year, I took my kids to a adventure play park and fell off an obstacle, as you do when you're in your early 40s, and cracked some ribs, and it kind of hampered all my training. So then didn't go out to do CCC, which was, in hindsight, a massive mistake, because it then kind of introduced the full UTMB running stones. So then kind of in between, did first 100 miler along the Cotswold Way, did arc of attrition back in 2024, and then did some of it this year, called it at Land's End this year on the 100 mile route. I'd gone into it with the mindset of it being a training run. It's always going to give you an option of a get out clause. I was due to do Wild Horse 200 miler in April, so arc of attrition was always kind of a training run for Wild Horse 200, and then lots of little niggles and injuries. So it's just like I'm not gonna put my best foot forward for Wild Horse 200. To kind of postpone that, so that's on the agenda for next year. So need to get out and do lots of training for Wild Horse 200 for next year. So that's kind of a little bit of my story. So from being a good teen runner, to not doing a lot of exercise, to falling back in love with running in the I suppose
It's
late 2010s, early 2020s.
It's quite. You said it's quite common, isn't it? I think people tend to fall out of it as they start having kids and families, maybe a little bit, and then they get back into it. And now it feels like running is really big. I don't know if it's because we're in these circles where everyone's doing it, but I just feel like it's quite a really popular sport at the minute.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's so. What I kind of found in my 20s or 30s is like I felt time constrained. I probably wasn't, but it was like I could go to the gym for 30 minutes. I could go for a bike ride for 30 minutes. I could go for a run for 30 minutes, or I could do something else. And there was always something else you could do, whether that was going and hanging out with some mates, or seeing boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whoever it was going. So yeah, married with kids, and that married and kids all got in the way, and you end up making excuses why you can't find time, and then you get to a different stage where you're like, actually, I need to go and find the time. And I think one of the beauties with running is if you want to just go out for a 20-minute run, you can. And so I moved from in the early 2000s, I was doing a lot of mountain biking. I then moved from mountain biking into road cycling, and then from road cycling into running. I kind of moved from mountain biking into road cycling because to go mountain biking, you put a bike on the car, you drove somewhere, you went for a bike ride, you got muddy, you got home, you cleaned the bike, you cleaned yourself off. And I was like, actually, if I get a road bike, I can go for a bike ride from my house. I don't have to drive for 30 minutes or an hour or how many hours to get anywhere. So then when I kind of moved from road cycling, I was like, I can just go for a run from my house and I can get out for half an hour. But that was my thought process. And then it kind of, again, escalated. Right, let's go out for 3 hours. Let's go out for 5 hours. And I think that's kind of one of the cool things. And it's become, there's a social aspect as well. I was having a chat with a single friend, and he was kind of referring to run clubs seem like the new dating apps. He lives in London, and it's like, there's a new running club springing up everywhere, and everyone just seems to be using almost like dating sites. But there's an aspect to the social aspect of running. You just go out and have a chat with people. And where I live, there's a beer shop, and they have a running night on a Wednesday night. Yeah. It's probably one of the most popular running clubs in town. So.
Wait, that's similar to us, isn't it? Rivington. There's Rivington Brewery. They've got a Rivington Run Club, and that is heaving on a Thursday night, and it's just real social in it. So you'll do different distances, and then you'll get together at the end, and everyone just go and buy food and get some beers in. So it is really social, isn't it?
Especially on a Thursday. Well, like if you're working Friday, you can have a couple and kind of get away with it if you're doing it, can't you? You're not doing it on a Monday night, or you're going in on a Tuesday and go out, But it is, I've been, I don't think I've been to Rivy, like the groups, but it is massive, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's massive.
Social side.
And it's one of the bits that I kind of truly love about trail running, especially on top of the kind of the running culture and scene. The community vibe within trail running, is massive. Again, like in running, yes, people end up being competitive, self-competition. In trail running, again, it's fully self-competitive. Yes, if you're at the sharp end, if you're a Hugh Chatfield, you're very competitive. But there's a people who are out there just doing it because they love it. Everyone's supportive of everyone. The people at the back of the race get as big a cheers as the people winning it, and that kind of vibe. And that's something I love as well.
Yeah. But why do you think that is? Compared to other types of running, why is trail running so, like, I don't know, just feels like it. I agree with you. I just don't know why that is.
I think they take that long to do, don't they? And it's like I say, you're not racing the person, you're racing the course, and the achievement is finishing. It's not anything else, is it? Like say, unless you're Hugh and that and running around.
Exactly. And a lot of the time, you're racing or competing with yourself as much as the course. You've got the weather to deal with. The hills, especially in trail running, all of those things, and there's a lot of everyone has all the thoughts. So it's like it would just be easy to quit and go home. I remember when I did UTS. I was in UTS 100k, and I tripped up coming down pig track and knackered my ankle, and I stubbornly struggled on, and it took me a lot longer than my planned kind of race time, and it got to about 7 p.m. on the Saturday night. And I had some friends that had been doing the 50k race, and they'd finished. and another mate that was doing the 100k, and he'd got into it injured, and he kind of dropped out. And we were all on a WhatsApp group at about 7 p.m. He messaged him going, just got back to Llanberis, just about to go down, we should have a pub for a beer, do you want to come and join me? To two mates that were doing the 50. And that kind of pinged up on my phone and on my watch, and I was like, I could just quit. I was kind of near an aid station. I was like, I could quit and I could get my mates to come pick me up back in beer garden in half an hour. So part of the challenge is you have these kinds of thoughts, in like, if you've got the weather against you and things like that, so you're competing with yourself. And I suppose, like, go back, I was looking at the stats for like marathon race times. In the 1980s, I can't remember the exact stats. The average finish time for a marathon was, I want to say, 3 hours. I can't remember exactly what it is, so this is just for example. Go forward now, and the average race time for a marathon is, let's say, 5 hours. People are like, well, what's happened? Has runners got slower? It's like, no, this is the average race time. The number of runners in the UK that did a marathon in 1980 was 10,000. The number of people that did a marathon in 2025 was 1 million. So you've just got more and more people doing it, which is great. The front end, the time's gone massively down. So I think it's the where was I going with that? People have the thought that things are hard, and things are hard. If you say to a non-runner, I'm running a marathon, they're like, wow, that's brilliant. Like, people's default position is I can't do it. Like, in their own mind. If you tell somebody, I'm going to go and run 100k, 100 miles, 5-day, 200-mile race, whatever it kind of is, people that aren't running are like, how are you going to do that? Is that even possible? So I think that kind of has followed through into the community, and what people are doing is, we have a level of respect for what people are doing, what we're doing. And someone going out and running the first ultra, the first 50 miler, the first 100k, the first 100 miler, we all were there once. And for the majority of us, we didn't podium on our first race. So we're like, we can remember what that was like. It's a struggle, but it's a character building struggle in a good way.
Yeah. It is a nice atmosphere, even like between the runners, isn't it? And so I think this is, I always say this is a weakness of mine, right? If I'm racing like a 10k or a half marathon, I really, really graft. But then when it comes to the ultra stuff, I always feel like I'm more relaxed. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But I do, and I feel like that. And it's just nice to unpack that. Actually, it feels like that for a lot of people, probably because you're just enjoying the day, aren't you?
Yeah, and you're not running it on the limit as much. If you're going out to do a PB on the 10k, you're going to be gassing it. If you can have a conversation as you run up that hill on a PB 10k, you're not running fast. It's that kind of view. Whereas if you're going out and doing a 100 miler, and if you can't have a conversation with someone as you're kind of going up there, you're probably running too fast. It's like I was having this chat with a mate last weekend. He was going out and doing his first 50k, and it was a kind of a social run with some of his mates. And he was like, so basically, Dave, however, and he's a fast runner. So however fast I start, I should start slow. And I was like, yes, mate. And he did, like 52k. I'm trying to think, like 5 hours last weekend, fairly hot day. So he's, was pretty nice and tasty on it. And it was kind of, it's like, you're running, this is a social run. If you can't have a bit of a chat with the people you're running with, you're all running too fast. And it's different than if you're going out on a club 5 miler on a Wednesday night.
And I think with the road and the trail at the moment, there's like you said before, with 10k on the road, there's no real hazard, is there? Unless you trip over a gully or a manhole or a slip, like you are going to finish it, aren't you? Unless you get injured. Where if you did a 10k trail run, like the hazards involved in just a 10k trail run are ridiculous. Like I said, the weather, the ground, the terrain, whatever it might be, and you put that into 100k, and like I said, with the respect, I think once you've done one and you know what people are going through, when people are finishing, if you finish, you know what they've been through, don't you? Like the good moments, the bad moments. I think it is an element of like I say, when they finish, it is a mutual respect in terms of like you've done something there that's pretty good. With a 10k, I'm not knocking it, but you're not going to die on a 10k, are you? Where like on a 100-mile race, I'm not saying you're going to die, but you're going to push your limits, aren't you? So
I think it's like when I'm chatting to kind of people, and they're like, people out there asking the question. I'm doing my first 100k. What bit of advice would you give? And it's like there's a few that I kind of give without saying like I don't know everything. I'm not I don't mean like that, but it's that the old adage of be bothered. If you're thinking you're getting cold, you're getting cold. Put a warm layer on. If you're thinking you're feeling hungry, have some food. It's that kind of be bothered. But the bit I was kind of think about is like the key bit with these kind of events is something's going to go wrong, and you need to be prepared for that to go wrong. And it seems like so when you rock up at an aid station, and we've all seen this at events. I'm not knocking, Look at the front runners. They're in and out of an aid station in 10 seconds. They know exactly what they're getting, or they're getting their bag and going. So when you rock up at an aid station, it's like, right, I'm gonna top up my fluids. I've already got the lids off the fluid and the Highland or the SIS or the Tailwind going into the bottles before I'm even walking through. That's getting topped up. I know what food I roughly kind of want, or like, do I want a banana, watermelon, or just some gummy bears? Versus you see people at aid station, they're kind of wandering around going, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, and then they leave without topping up their water bottles. So it's have that plan, and then kind of having a plan for when things will go wrong. And it's not, I know what I'm going to do when things go wrong, because whatever I plan for, it will be something different. But having that thought process of what happens if it starts raining, I put my waterproof jacket on and then I snag it on a barbed wire fence and it rips. I'm not saying plan for that, but if you don't have that thought, when that happens, you'll be like, what am I going to do? And I can remember at the Arc of Attrition, I ripped my Salomon bag. They got the little pockets there. I snagged it on a gorse bush. So the zip pocket, which just had a massive hole in it. It was like,
no.
So I do, right, let's take everything out of that pocket. let's rebalance the pack just as a thing. It could have been one of those things that would have then really bothered me. It's like, I've just ripped a nice Solomon pack. I haven't lost anything. Nothing's fallen out. It could be worse.
You're fully gone Keith there, aren't you? Accept, adapt, overcome. That's his his term, innit? I love that. To be fair, I saw Swifty, one of the lads he's been on before the podcast. He was doing the 100, and he was about halfway. I was out just watching at the night, and his innovate bag just like fell apart at the bottom. So he was just stood there taping it up and everything just to keep, because everything started falling out of the bag.
And it's wet.
Those things would drive me.
Yeah.
I'd be leaving. So I think you've got to have some sort of a lot of resilience in you to be going around doing 100 miles are just insane to me.
Dealing with stuff like that. Like I say, you just got to be prepared for it. I'm not saying the worst, but if something does happen, can I deal with it? Or have you got the right mentality to go, let's not worry about that. We've put it to one side. Let's move on to the next bit.
Well, then this is going to be a nice segue. This kind of view that I kind of had when I was doing some of my earlier races, it was things are going to go wrong, so be prepared. And then it was like, so start preparing for the things that are going to go wrong, or that are going to happen before they happen. Just like I was saying, so if you're running into an aid station and you're going to top up your water bottles with Tailwind or Highland, before you even get, so I kind of, as I'm walking into an aid station when you can see it and you're 20 meters out, water bottles coming out, lids coming off, energy packs going in there, so that I'm saving, to me, all of probably 3 seconds, but it feels to me like I'm saving minutes. So that even just that kind of view of be prepared and start doing things before they become a challenge and an issue was kind of what ultimately led to me kind of, I suppose, creating Trailskin. I say about the first 100k race that I did, North Coast 110, Climb Southwest, brilliant race down in the North Devon coast. The year that I did that, it like a lot of kind of October to January ultras, it rained most of the time. And there was a guy at kit check who'd forgotten his anti-chafe. He had a young baby at home and had picked up his like 3-month-old son's pack of Sudocrem. And the race director was like, that'll be fine. You know? And at the end of the race, everyone had chafed, and this guy used some Sudocrem and was like, not the best anti-chafe, but it kind of worked. And it kind of led me to kind of go, what are the products out there? What are the products that I was using for that? Why didn't they work? Well, it was hot, it was wet, everything washed off basically. And I was out there for a fairly long time. And that kind of led to, if you start putting anti-chafe products on once you've chafed, you're putting them on too late. So be prepared, put them on, preparation, put them on before the race. You know, feet, if you start thinking about your feet the day of the race, you're already kind of behind the curve. Start thinking about them in the weeks building up to a race. How can you prep them so that you're going to minimize your chances of suffering from blisters from maceration, trench foot? You know, trench foot and maceration, very different things, but ultimately, you know, in the UK, we refer to maceration as trench foot. But ultimately, yeah, when you're going out and running 100 mile, you're not getting trench foot, you're getting foot maceration. But how can you give yourself the best chance of not having to suffer from that? What can you do in the weeks beforehand, days beforehand, the day of the race, and during the race? So that kind of led to the products to Trailskin. And ultimately, you ask, what do you have to do to sign up to get the National Running Show? Give them a call and go hide like a booth. What's your brand name? Don't know yet. So back when we decided to do the National Run Show in 2025, we had the final stages of the products. So this was April 2024 when I basically signed up to do the National Run Show for 2025. We had the final stages of the products, and they've been in the hands of a number of people for testing, but we didn't have a company name or a brand name. And so for a long time, Trailskin at the National Run Show was actually done as a different company name. And then I was with my wife and kids. We were lucky enough to go travelling summer of 2024, and we were over in New Zealand. And I woke up one morning and just went, Trailskin. That works as a name, right? Is trailskin.com available? No. Is trailskin.co.uk available? Yes, right. Let's go with that for the short term and fix it later on. And then we were lucky enough as well to then be able to buy trailskin.com as the web domain in like the September 2024. And from that point, it's like, right, we've now got the domains, a name that makes sense. Now let's get the company registered, get the legal bits done for the products, because they're all cosmetic, so cosmetic product safety reports and things like that. So yeah, it was and that then kind of led to everything as well.
It's like a debrief of The Apprentice, isn't it?
Yeah.
What they go through. What was we're going to go through the product, but did you have any previous names to Trailskin that you'd like to share with us? And not, you don't have to, but
no,
it was just one idea, and that was it.
Yeah, I shared one with a running bit, and he was like, "No, Dave, don't." I was like, "Yeah, fine." I can't remember what that was, but he was just like, "Yeah, no, that won't work." You won't understand what it is, and it sounds like something different. So yeah, we had a short list, but none of them were really very good. Whereas so the only downside of Trailskin as a kind of a company and product name is it is trail specific. Now, on the flip side, I've got some mates that are mountain bikers and walkers, and they're like, we use it when we're out mountain biking. We're on the trail. A bunch of friends that are doing some high level walking and trekking, and it's like, you're still on the trail. So it works from that side. It might not necessarily work as like a high end cosmetics thing, but yeah, that's a different product for a different day.
Yeah, I didn't think that actually, but yeah, because obviously road running people are using it, aren't they? Well, I definitely am.
To be fair, I probably used it more on the road running this year than I have on the trails, because I've just not been on there. But like my go-to originally was just a pot of Vaseline, double dipping whenever you get a chance, and that was it. But like I've used Trailskin more this year than, well, that's when I pretty much first started using it, and I've not chafed once in terms of the race I've done and the training I've done. Like literally just before I've gone out, applied it to the areas. For men, we know where the areas are, and even down. We were talking down the back in terms of the shorts. For some reason, 10 years ago, we never chafed there. But the past couple of years, I don't know why, like we started chafing down the back line of it. But honestly, this year since using Trailskin, like I've literally not chafed once. So it's a dream. It's a dream.
Yeah, I kind of, when we first launched, I was having a conversation with my wife, and my wife was like, "Why do you just want to go after trail runners? Why don't you launch this for everyone?" And I was like, "Because if we win the minds of trail runners, someone's out there doing a 100-mile run and they use Trailskin and they don't chafe or they don't get blisters, they're gonna be like, this works." If someone then is going out for their first park run, or I know people that carry the little race tins when they're wearing certain shoes, or like I had a friend that was at a wedding and she had it in her handbag. She was like, "I'm wearing stilettos, I've got this." So it kind of, if it's good enough for someone running 100 miles, it's going to be good enough for me when I'm doing a park run.
Yep.
It's that kind of mentality. So that it becomes more of a, there are some other, some of the mainstream products out there. There's a review for a very mainstream product. It's like, yeah, this is a brilliant product as long as you reapply it every hour.
Yeah.
It's like, that's fine if you're going out for a 30-minute run. But if you're going out for a few hours, or even if you're just going for a walk with your family for 4 hours, do you even want to be doing that? So
you clearly done a lot of the work in like hearts and minds, because I think obviously we spoke to, originally was it Merrill? Was Merrill our first elite trail team? When we spoke
I think
to?
she was Merrill.
Yeah.
And then since then we spoke to quite a few, and they all say really, really good things about it. So then I think that led us on to, we'll try it. So we got some, and then but I'm really interested in that sort of journey of, because like Carl said, I think originally we'd be like, we'll just plaster ourselves with Vaseline or whatever, but you're talking about, well, actually when it comes to foot care, you should be thinking about this 3 weeks prior. So I must admit, I've suffered a lot with blisters in my time, and I think because there's so many variables to it. Well, is it your socks? Is it your shoes? Is it are they the right size, your shoes? And then when it comes to the lubricant, so what sort of things, I guess, for people that are listening that they might suffer from blisters and stuff, what should they be thinking about? And I guess when?
Yeah. So if I kind of cut back, let's say 30 years. The thought process 30 years ago was you want hard, tough skin. I remember as a teenager putting surgical spirit on my feet to harden it up. And what that kind of created was a calloused, hard, leathery kind of skin. With the thought process being, if it's hard on the surface, it's going to be more hard wearing. Now the science and the thought process is kind of, actually you don't want hard skin. Hard skin means rigid skin. If you've got calluses, you end up with an edge. You've got a callus and then a soft bit next to it, and it's that bit that actually causes the issue, the difference between the two layers and the texture. So if you have soft flexible skin is stronger skin. So removing the calluses. So what do I mean by this? Everyone should have a foot file once a week. Have it in your shower or in your bath. Give your feet a little file just to remove any kind of dead skin and soften up the calluses. The next layer down from that, so if nothing else, just kind of do that. The next level is kind of using some foot moisturizers, or barrier moisturizers. So there's a number of ways that you can put moisture into your foot. So you can either draw it from the environment and deeper down. So there's kind of urea-based creams out there that do that kind of thing. You can pump moisture into it, i.e. a water-based hydration cream, or like what Trailskin Revival Foot Balm does is it's a barrier that goes over it. Your foot has got hundreds of thousands of sweat glands in it, basically. So actually the moisturizing of your foot isn't generally the problem. It just evaporates and goes and things like that. So the Trailskin Revival Foot Balm is effectively a barrier that goes over the top with some great fatty acids and things like that kind of soften your skin, make your skin nice and healthy, will help reduce calluses and things like that. So then you're less likely to get a blister. So a blister is caused by friction. Friction is caused if you have two things that are different textures, your sock moves over them at different rates. And that's what kind of can cause a blister, and you've got shear friction and elements around that. So if you can have soft, flexible skin, that's going to be less likely for you to get a blister. Personally, I like, if I'm going out for long runs, I like having a liner sock. Some people like liner socks, some people don't. Some people like toe socks. I personally don't. And then, there will always be a shoe. If you go from brand A to brand B, just that different shape, you can rub and get blisters and things like that. The next level down or on from that is then kind of what you do on the day. So we've got some products, so moisture barrier cream, so Trailskin trench foot cream, very, very high zinc oxide content barrier cream. So it's basically a moisture cream or moisture barrier cream. So you put that on your feet. If you know you have any areas that you suffer from hot spots and blisters, you can put the anti-chafe over the top. So Arc of Attrition back in January, I had Trailskin trench foot cream all over my feet, anti-chafe over my toes, a pair of liner socks, anti-chafe over the toes of my liner socks, normal socks, and then the shoes that I was wearing. And people ask, why anti-chafe over the toes of your socks or liner socks? I was wearing a pair of shoes that the furthest I'd run being like 20 miles. So I just didn't know how those shoes were going to hold up in those conditions. Didn't suffer, they were brilliant. So doing that, and that's kind of a belt and braces approach. Again, prevention as well as cure. And then kind of, post-event, what you can do to kind of manage your skin and help your skin kind of recover and repair itself as well. So that's on the foot side. And then on the rest of the body, for us men, we kind of know where we chafe, but also hats, shoulders, if you're female, bra straps and things like that. Having a nice kind of an anti-chafe product that's basically going to act both as a barrier and a lubricant. So that your t-shirt can move over the top of it, as well as allowing sweat to pass through it and things like that, as well as acting as a fairly good barrier. Now, you mentioned Vaseline. I was having a conversation with someone recently. It was like, I use Vaseline. I've never had any issues, apart from they then did a 4-hour run and it was really hot, and they got really, really bad chafing. I was like, how far do you normally run? Well, 2 hours. Okay, that's your issue. Vaseline is okay until it is not okay. So Vaseline's kind of failure curve is it's fine, it's failed. And what happens with Vaseline is it can migrate, so it will move from where you want it to be, as well as salt will kind of get trapped in Vaseline, and the salt evaporates, the sweat evaporates, the liquid element, but the salt crystals kind of remain, so it doesn't pass through. And that over a longer period of time, you end up with salt crystals trapped in the Vaseline, as well as it's a magnet for dirt and dust. Yeah. So then you've effectively got sandpaper rubbing against yourself. So I wouldn't recommend Vaseline to anyone. If it's all you've got, it's better than nothing until it's not. And it's the failure curve on it is what causes the issue.
Yeah, it's so hard, isn't it? There's so much to think about with that. Like I said before, I think more recently I've actually gone up half a size in trainers and thought, actually, that's made a difference. Because it's just, people recommend things to you, don't they? And I think you try them and then they don't work. And like you said, someone will say, oh, Vaseline's great. Use Vaseline, they've got a problem. Waterproof socks, got a problem. It's everyone's quite different, aren't they, with it, I think?
Yeah.
There's levels to it, isn't there?
It's even like waterproof socks. So, again, I personally I rarely use waterproof socks. The only times I ever really use waterproof socks is if it's cold, i.e. if I'm running in snow, and then I'm using it more as an insulation layer. I don't mind getting wet feet. So whereas and I've never really, because of the products I use, I've never really suffered with prolonged wet feet. So Arc of Attrition, January, I wasn't wearing waterproof socks. My feet were wet from half a mile in, the start, because it was raining, whereas I know some other people absolutely swear by waterproof socks, and there's pros and cons, and it's give it a try. If it works for you, brilliant, but don't try it for the first time on race day and hope it's going to work.
Quite a common theme in that.
Yeah. But I think there's that many things about now, though, in terms of quick solve is I'll wear toe socks because someone's wore toe socks, or like I say, waterproof socks, where like you've explained it there in the terms of it doesn't start on race day, it starts a month before. Like we've got Lakeland 50 and Lakeland Under coming up in less than a month in it, pretty much. So like you say, for me, I've never prepped in terms of my feet. I've used the stuff on my feet and I've just rubbed it on. I've never really looked into the science behind like what you've just explained, and it makes complete sense. I work in work boots. Should I, on that side of it now, can I start applying that before work, and is that going to help me in terms of the build up to my next race? Is that going to, once I've got rid of all the hard stuff and that, should I start putting the stuff on and working towards it?
So absolutely no downsides in you putting Trailskin Revival foot balm or something similar on your feet in the morning. When you're getting dressed, when you're putting your socks on, put that on. It's not going to do any harm or damage in any way, shape, form. What the positives, what it will do during the day, it will help your feet kind of absorb some of the nutrients and benefits from the Trailskin products, like the good fatty acids. Because it's creating a healthy barrier there, your feet won't dry out as such. So it's using your own foot's moisture mechanism to moisturize your feet, but you're also not going to get soaked socks from sweating your feet out and things like that. I was having this conversation again with another mate who again wears work boots, and he was talking about doing it, wearing work boots in the winter. So put some Trailskin trench foot cream on every day. And that's what he's been doing. Was in the winter, where he was then getting wet feet wearing work boots every day.
Yeah. I had such like the arc. Obviously, you did that as well.
I feel for you both. I've always seen pictures of it, and what you like, Steve spoke about that. It sounds horrific, and like obviously you know what it was like, don't you?
Well, yeah, but Dave was on the 100. I genuinely, I think that was the worst day of my life. when I was in that, I just thought I'm not even enjoying this in the slightest. But I didn't have anything really lubricant wise. I tried waterproof socks for probably the second time, and the first time I'd worn it was about 10 miles round here when it wasn't bad. And what happened with the waterproof socks was because it was so wet, they just got heavy. It was like wearing a wetsuit boot, and the top of my toes were rubbing because the sock was coming back over. Honestly, it was awful.
Yeah. So I if people do wear waterproof socks, I always ask what kind of running you're doing, and when I wear waterproof socks, they're basically like knee-high waterproof socks. Right. Because I'm like, as soon as I cross, if I'm going to be wearing waterproof socks, I'm going to be crossing a river somewhere, and if I'm crossing a river, they go over like there's no point in me wearing them. So yeah, that's it's I had a brilliant day out there. I was saying this in a previous chat with some people as well. I went into the Arc knowingly undertrained, and it's like respect the race, respect the distance, and I did. I went into it knowingly untrained, and went into it with it's a training race because I had another race kind of 2 or 3 months later on that was planned, and because of the weather and the conditions, it kind of helped me, if that makes sense. If it had been like, so when I did it in 2024, it was blue sky. I think I wore a t-shirt the whole way round. If it had been like that, it would have showed up my lack of training far more than it did because of those conditions, because it kind of it leveled the field. And kind of back like I was saying, it's kind of be prepared for certain things that are going to happen. So I was like, really fortunate. I'd gone out for a training run probably about 3 weeks earlier up in the Cotswolds, and it's probably about 4:30 when I left my house to go for a run. So it was already dark, head torch, and I was carrying full kit, and I didn't check the weather forecast. So about 15 minutes after I'd left my house, it's like raining. Got up onto the Cotswold Hills, and it then kind of pretty much started snowing and hailing. An hour later, I was in full kit. The only bit I didn't put on was waterproof trousers. So I was like, I'm 2 miles from home. I can put them on if I needed to. It's the only run that I've ever done where I put safety goggles on. And I only had them in my bag because I was kind of doing full kit. And it was so windy at one point, and with kind of vertical, horizontal hail. I was just like, I'm putting some goggles on so I can actually see where I'm going. And that became a really good kind of prep run. So I was like, I know my kit's going to keep me warm if it's cold and wet. I got home and then checked the weather forecast, and where I was running, it was kind of saying it was like felt like -6. So I was like, okay, that's been a really good prep run. If the weather's bad when I actually do the race, which is exactly then what happened. So
yeah, and then so I had a mate that did the 27 mile, whatever it was, on the Sunday, and it was glorious, weren't it? The weather was absolutely beautiful on the, on the
I think the thing with it, like even on the 50 miler, so much of the course had been chewed up by the 100 milers going through, and then by the time I got to 25, beautiful day, but the course underfoot had been chewed up and was still wet and muddy and slippery, and so that just made it mentally harder on all the distances, because you had to think about where you were putting your feet and if you were going to slip, no matter what shoes you were wearing. There was always that question of, at some point, am I just going to fall over?
It's that learning curve of like trail running though, isn't it, that? Because I must admit, even that, what was it, 6 months ago, I wasn't really thinking about what lugs on the shoes or anything like that. And when you speak to, like Keith was saying, when he changed the lug size before a race, was I just took a pair of trainers that I wear them, they're all right for me, and then you get on that trail and you put your foot down, you just slide straight back. Oh man, PTSD talking about this. But
it's experience, so isn't it? The more you do of them, the more you get used to different circumstances, different scenarios and stuff. But I go out to run, I enjoy running, whether it's fast or slow, whatever. Like sliding around in mud, like for those people that finish that the 26, the 50, the 100 in those conditions, like every credit, because like you can't move in mud, you can't commit forward with any commitment, can you? You don't know where your feet are going to end up, and that not being able to move forward properly is like I say, it's draining. So every credit to you, Steve. Every credit to you.
It's about infuriating movements.
That's no fun, is it? Well,
Dave had a great time. He loved
it.
It's I was fortunate enough to be generally fairly trusting of the kit that I was wearing, and knew I had some fairly good kits. So I was like, I'm going to get wet, accept that, but the kit I've got, I know I'm going to be warm with. And that's then kind of the key bit. And then, the reality in those conditions, a little bit like UTS back in May, in those conditions, no matter what kit you're wearing, you're going to get wet. So then it comes down to, can you be warm when you're wet? Yeah. Can you become comfortable being uncomfortable?
And what you said before, do it early. If you're going out and getting into trail and stuff like that, like you said, if you're feeling cold, you get it on early. You get your waterproofs on. You can always take them off, can't you?
Yeah.
But once you're done on the trails, if you're doing long distances, like even with marathon distances or trails, it can soon turn no matter where you are, and you can soon end your race, can't it? Just apply Trailskin everywhere, innit? As a barrier.
So which distance are you guys doing for Lakeland?
Well, he's doing the 100. I'm just 50. That's what everyone says. Just doing the 50. But
it's not, is it?
Yeah, but that 100 mile, it's coming very soon, mate.
Yeah, it's well, we spoke about it. It's not been a great prep, to be honest. I think I've done 5 runs since Boston.
Injury though,
two DNFs, little niggles and stuff. And the discussion before was like, I'm all fired up to start it, but it's whether your body can actually physically. Because my longest run, pretty much, his last one was Boston Marathon. That was classed as a run. Bar that, like I said, I think I've done 5 runs. One of them was a 5k, and that was cut short. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be at the start line, but whether it's going to be a cut off early, I don't know. But I'll be there. I'll be showing up. But like you said before, it scares you in the fact that, like you said before, you knew you was underprepared when you went on it, and I'm going in with that exact feeling, knowing that I'm well underprepared for it, and it's quite scary in the sense of. We've said before, you can blag a 50-mile race if you're fit enough. You can still get round it. You can do it without causing damage. Where 105 mile, I've done it before. I know the issues it can cause, and to be honest, I'm shitting myself. So.
This thing, back in 24 when I did UTS 100k, and I kind of got injured coming down the pig track. So less than 6 miles in when I got tripped over and turned my ankle. I'd gone into that on the back of a good training block. I'd gone into it, arc of attrition in the January, Cotswold Way 100 miler in the September. I did race the stones in the build up to those. So I kind of gone into it on the back of some good races and some good distance, and was like feeling good. And then that gave me the mindset of let's get it done. So it took a lot longer, and it's probably the most physically broken I've been, and not because of the amount of time it took, more because I destroyed my quads. It's a hilly course. I destroyed my quads because every time I put my foot down, if my foot wasn't level, it rolled. So I had to put my foot down completely level. So from where I rolled it until like the aid station, which was like 15 miles in, so I was doing like 9 miles, and just mentally had to be really careful. Got to the aid station and was lucky enough to get a medic who had some zinc oxide tape and stirruped up my ankle so I could basically stop it from moving. But at that point, I was 15 miles in and my quads were already going. And that kind of pretty much reduced me to a very slow run or a fairly slow walk, which kind of like, right, I'm getting this done. I want to get it done. So I went into that with that mindset, and you can get it done. It depends what you want to do.
It's all to you, mate.
It can be done, mate. You'll do it.
It can be done. It's more you get to the point of what consequences it's going to hold afterwards in terms of, do I want this to be a race and then out for a couple of months and recovering, or I'm not missing out on it. There's no way missing out on it.
Mate, I didn't run for 6 months after UTS because of my ankle. It also led to Trailskin as well. So
you might start a new business, mate.
Exactly.
Who knows?
There's one option for you. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Insurance company or something.
Yeah, fantastic.
But we'll be there though, won't we? We'll be there.
Yeah,
representing, lubed up to the max.
The end of next month, isn't it?
And the July, yeah.
I think it's a month today. Literally a month today. 24th.
Is it? Yeah, 24th. Yeah. Genuinely fair play though for you boys stepping up to the 100-mile distances. It just blows my mind. So I did Hadrian's Wall. I don't know if you heard, mate.
When was this?
I might have mentioned it a few times.
Have you heard about this?
If you haven't, you're missing out. But yeah, that was 86, and to be fair, I actually did use Trailskin, and I was actually fine. I didn't have the blister, which really surprised me, to be honest, because I always think I always get them. But as well, I also was thinking a bit more about it, which I think makes you feel switched on with it, which I definitely would encourage people to do. But yeah, and I did 86. I was knackered for 10 days, thinking I could get back running. I couldn't get back running. That motivation dropped a little bit, and then someone's like, "Oh, you could go and do 100 now." Not a chance. I like running too much to be out of it for so long. Like, fair play to you boys.
Not really, because you know for a fact what it was like last time, so it's not going to be pretty, is it? I'll see you on the Monday anyway. I won't see you on Friday till Sunday, so I'll see you on Monday.
Be asleep. But what about you, Dave? What's coming up for you? What have you got? Anything major planned, or what's the dream?
He's going to come back big, isn't he? He's going to come back big. Yeah. There's no messing about.
Well, so for me, race-wise, I will try and do either 100k or 100 miler between now and the end of this year. But again, like,
plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. I like big, scary goals. So I'll get something signed up for probably September, October, November, 100k or 100 miler, and then next year, I've got Wild Horse 200 that was deferred from this year, which will be next April. So that's kind of next year's race, and I'm tempted by the arc of attrition again. Whether I go down and do the 50 miler. So I haven't done that. Or go back and do the 100 miler. Like, it's a brilliant course. So that might be on the agenda for next year as well. And then 200 miler and then see where we go from there. I also want to, well, when I get back running and get some running fitness back in me as well. And this will probably be at some point next year. Get a backyard ultra done as well.
I was going to ask you that.
I'm generally I can function well with a lack of sleep for a very long time, and then a little bit of sleep can kind of set me back up for a decent amount of time. So there's a little bit in me that's saying might be alright on the physical lack of sleep side if I can get the running good enough. So Backyard Ultra is on the cards for probably next year, but Wild Horse 200 is the next big kind of A race for me as well. But then and then Trailskin, what we've got can I announce this on this? Yeah, I think I probably can.
Exclusive.
We'll be down at the end of this month. We should be down at Ultra X Wales. Sorry, the end of this month, end of July. We'll be down at Ultra X Wales, and then in September we'll be at Ultra X England, Equinox 24, and we should have some presence at some point at the start of Dragons Back and possibly during some of Dragons Back as well, which will be kind of cool. And then there's some potential other conversations for some other stuff in September as well, where Trailskin will hopefully have some presence as well, which will be kind of cool. And this is part of the challenge I have now, trying to balance weekends. Even if I want to go out racing, there's also races that Trailskin could be at. Yeah. So it's kind of I'm now getting more and more limited in weekends that I can get out racing or running, because it's either weekends with the family or weekends at events with Trailskin. So
Trailskin.
my 15-year-old daughter wants to go and do a mud run.
Oh yeah,
race, 10k obstacle race. So need to get one of those set up for some point over the summer somewhere, or early September or something like that. Basically, she had a list of potential events for that as well. So we'll get that done as well, and that'd be quite cool.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. So how business wise, for when you first started and everything else, how would you say it's going on your side? Are you doing pretty well with it? Is there room for? Is it building? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So definitely building, and building really nicely. And January 2024 to now, 18 months, we've had phenomenal growth. The reviews of the product, I'm completely transparent. Our website is as well. All of the reviews that anyone's ever sent in are on the website, and they're all brilliant.
Is this a new website, by the way?
Yeah, we updated the website about a week ago, basically, and then had a bunch of people point out a spelling mistake, so we were like, so that's looking pretty cool. As you guys know, we've got some amazing ambassadors, both in terms of kind of the elites, Keith Wigley, Hugh Chatfield, Rebecca Horman, Poppy Collingwood, guys and girls like that, as well as some of the kind of more normal people. That hopefully they'll take that all as compliments, but they're out there doing awesome things as well.
Robin isn't normal, by the way. Robin is far from normal.
We're what we got as well. I need to actually put the email out to people. We're going to be having a chat with some of the spine racers that were using Trailskin products over last week's spine race, basically various different events and people doing that, and put a little blog post together for that as well. Business is doing really good. We've got some revisions, some of the products that should be coming out probably September time. The Trailskin Trenchfoot cream, we're tweaking that and improving it. There's a kind of a version out in some testers' hands and getting some really good feedback about that. And the theory goes it should last longer, be more waterproof, and go on smoother. The main aim was Trenchfoot cream works brilliantly, but in certain weather, too cold, too hot, it can go on a little bit.
Right.
It's not as smooth as it could be. So we tweaked that. A winterized kind of soft scoopable anti-chafe coming out, one of the known issues that we knew with it as well. In cold weather, our anti-chafe gets hard. So we've got a soft scoopable version that again should be coming out in about September. And then we've got some future products in the early stages of development, basically, which I won't talk about on this, but they're potentially quite cool. And again, I have the view in business that make fans, make followers, make customers. So we're very much going through the make fans. If people like the products and they're using them and they are helping them complete their aims and goals, they'll tell their friends, they become a fan. They their friends start using it, they become followers and treating people the right way. And the trail running community is a very close community. We're very fortunate that we have very good products, but also people like the products. But if our products didn't work, we wouldn't be getting the feedback we're getting. And the community is a small community. If someone goes, I used this and it didn't work, it's crap. That spreads as well within the community. So getting the kind of word of mouth from the runners that are out there using it and helping to achieve their goals with it as well.
Yeah, it's true that it is a small community. You go to trail races, you tend to see a lot of the same people and definitely a lot of the same brands. And like you said with word of mouth, I was just thinking when you were saying that, most of the things that I've got are probably from people just saying, I've tried this. And even like the endurance gels, Meryl had mentioned that. Meryl had mentioned Trailskin. And I think when people we're quite lucky, we get to speak to some incredible people on this podcast. And when they say something, I'm like, I'm trying it. So it is sort of the way things work. Isn't
it's
it,
all
really?
the way, but on the Trailskin side of things as well, it's like there's not much really like the name. I can't remember any other name of any other lubricant that I've been advised on or to use. Or anything. Like generally, I couldn't tell you now. Once I got told about Trailskin, it was like it was Trailskin only because that's the only kind of name that kind of stuck in the sense of what it is. But like I said, community like Lakeland we're going to. There's 800 people on the 100. There's 2,500 people on the 50 start. Like. It is small in the sense of a community, but there's so many little communities involved in that to make it a big community. So the numbers out there, just in that one race, there's big potential in terms of Lakeland, and then, like I said, Dragon's Back, for example, or there's so many races out there now which can be a target, can't they? So, and word of mouth definitely works, doesn't it? So
and it was even I can talk about this on this because. There's going to be a blog post coming out on it, and I need to update the website and add the person. Imo Bodie was using Trailskin when she did the Speed Project. Oh. She was kind of introduced to Trailskin by Poppy Collingwood. Yeah. I'd also reached out to Poppy and was like, I hear you're doing some cool events. Would you like some Trailskin product? And then Poppy Collingwood was out crewing Imo when she did the Speed Project, so I had sent Imo some product. Poppy had some anyway. Imo was kind of using, if you're out running from LA to Vegas, it's hot, it's dusty. She was running it fast and beat the course record, and so she's become a massive fan, and she's coming on board as an ambassador as well, which is just awesome. So that kind of word of mouth where you've got an amazing runner like Imo who was told about the project by Poppy Collingwood, who's again an amazing runner, who was then crewing her, was like, right, you make sure you've got some Trailskin anti-chafe. So even just getting that kind of out there, and it's the how quickly we can achieve some of the goals that we want for the business via that kind of word of mouth. Because the reality is paid advertising isn't going to do the same thing. Steve, if you've seen if you keep seeing a Trailskin advert every time you go online, and Carl kind of goes, use Trailskin, which one are you going to go with? It's that. So,
yeah. The one time I'd probably take Carl's advice.
Don't.
But that generally is what it's like, though, isn't it? Like Poppy doing that, it just shows that people think a lot of the product, and really they want other people to have success in what they're doing. So if it works, of course you're going to recommend it.
But it's people that are actually doing big challenges as well. It's not just some pretty person saying use the product. It's actually, like I say, people are actually going out there. She's run 250, 300 miles from LA to Vegas, and she's done it in the record time. They're like, something's working somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even so, at the weekend, it was the Four Nations Backyard Ultra, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, over in Ireland.
He's going mental now, isn't it?
So, and we kind of, in a roundabout way, knew one of the people that was either crewing. Some of the people were part of the running team. They kind of had mentioned something to Becca, who was kind of on the English team, sorry. And she had kind of reached out to me, and I was like, happily provide. They ultimately they were kind of looking for sponsorship to cover the cost of their travel and things like that. And we're still a very young, small company in reality. But I was like, we can do something, and I'll happily provide a bunch of product for the English team, because again, people that are going out to run a backyard ultra, if they're using this product, if they like the product, they'll tell other people. So it's that building the fans as well, and ultimately it's also there is a risk element. If they use the product and it doesn't work for if it doesn't work for them, there's a risk on Trailskin.
Yeah.
And I remember I was joking at the registration for Wild Horse 200, Wild Horse South 200 back in April. I was there at registration and giving out some Trailskin products to a whole bunch of the runners. And I was chatting to Liz, who one of the volunteers, and she was all screwing someone. I was like, imagine if this all goes really badly. Imagine like reading the headline, Wild Horse 200, highest DNF rate. Why? Everyone was using Trailskin. And we were kind of having a joke and a laugh about it. And the reality is I'm very comfortable and confident in the products, and I know they're good products. So it's like, actually that isn't going to happen. But every now and then it's the same, like, winter spine race, and I knew a bunch of people that were using the products on the winter spine race. It's like, if the products don't work, it's going to show up in events like that. Yeah. And again, I'm comfortable and confident with how good the products are, but every now and then you're like, what if it doesn't? So yeah, it's always fun from that side.
The highest chafing record in history. But genuinely, have you had bad reviews? Have you had people pull you to one side and go, look, I've used it on this race, it's not worked? Because like I don't know loads and loads of people that use it, but I've never kind of heard anyone go, nah, rubbish that. It's normally pretty much use it. Yeah,
I had someone that had messaged me, and they'd taken some of the products. I think they were out in Portugal, and I think I'm not into like they had used the product before it had been fine, and then we're using it. It's either Portugal or Spain, and it was really hot. We have the little race tubes, the little wind up thing. Yeah. And they were applying it for that, and I think from reading their email, actually, what they ended up doing was almost scraping their own body with the plastic race tube.
Ah, right.
But the reality is, it's very hard to make a product that's going to be kind of temperature stable for, let's say, UK winters, as well as now UK summers, like 36 degrees now today. So that's kind of part of the challenge. An anti-chafe, you need it to melt on skin contact. 36, 37 degrees. If you make it so that it's heat stable for 40 degrees southern Spain, it's not going to melt in skin contact, so it's then just going to be a hard barrier on your skin. Yeah. And it's one of the bits we're tweaking for some of our products for kind of for this winter, to make them more softer, and for next year to make for the summer some of the stick balms to be more heat stable as well. But yeah, ultimately we haven't really had any negative feedback. We've had a huge amount of really positive feedback. Occasionally people have said, I love this product, this one not so much, or it's still good, but whatever. But generally all of the feedback has been amazing. I did a questionnaire to a whole bunch of the people that were doing, again, Wild Horse 200, 200-mile race, and we had a really high kind of response rate, and it was across let's call it our core 3 products. Were you using the anti-chafe? Were you using the Trailskin trench foot cream? And did you use the Trailskin Revival foot balm pre or post event? And I think we had something like out of 115, 120 races, we had like close to 40 respondents that were using the product that are given really, really positive feedback on it all as well. And we're saying, I use this, or I didn't use this, I can't comment on. And I make it pretty clear when I'm kind of chatting to people, people have got any negative feedback, feel free to let me know. Constructive criticism is always positive, if that makes sense.
Feedback is the breakfast of champions. That's what I got told when I was.
And with that, I carried it on my last race, the twisty up one, right? And it just makes you pull it out enough. Then there's stuff there that you don't scrape it with the plastic. Then
brilliant. You didn't think you'd have to give that advice,
but that's what you did. So it was white, the stick. So I just made sure there was enough white that it wouldn't actually fall off or snap. just enough to rub on, and then I twisted it a little bit more to get it on. So
this is the tubes I was saying about. We're just testing some different size plastic tubes, and
right.
we've got some white ones for Trailskin trench foot cream, so 30 gram and a 50 gram tubes.
Awesome.
Basically, so the little race tubes are brilliant. They're 15 grams. They're brilliant for exactly what they're designed to do, carrying a race pack. And some people are kind of going, I kind of want something in the drop bag as well. Right. We normally have a 60 gram push-up cardboard tube, and some people are kind of requesting, could I have a bigger plastic tube? Yeah, fine. And a lot of people are requesting that on the trench foot cream as well. And we've got some bigger tubes, and we're kind of mixing some of those into having some medium-sized drop bag containers, basically.
Yeah. So a lot, like I said, the longer runs now are drop bag involved, aren't they? So which is class. Do you have any videos or tutorials in terms of applying the stuff or anything? In like have you got a video of you like rubbing your feet, rubbing it on? You know, like genuinely, like, because for the foot cream, like if you've not used it before, like for me, I could just go in, just rub it wherever, and I don't actually know what I'm doing is right. So is there anything out there we can kind of find and share or anything, or?
No, it's something I really should put together.
Yeah, it don't need to be a video. It's more of a step by step in terms of.
There is a kind of a usage guide on the website. On how to use it on one of our blog posts, I think. But I really, I need to find a foot model. And you go around kind of asking people, would you be willing for me to take some videos of your feet? Your feet doing weird things.
You've come to the right place here.
It's an action of something that I kind of probably really should do, basically. Get a full on how to use video for both. Probably less so for the anti-chafe. I'm going to say
stick to the feet.
The Trailskin trench foot cream and the Revival foot balm.
The other stuff. It's not worth going down that.
Work that out yourself. I'm sure you can. Yeah. Fantastic. No, it's great. It's such a great journey, and it's great to see a relatively new, like a small and a new business coming up and being real forefront, especially on the trail running scene. It's something that's probably been needed for a while.
Yeah.
I've just got one question, but it's actually more related to you as a runner. So I was having a conversation today with somebody that was similar to yourself, had gone from half marathon to, well, I'm going to do 50 miles now. So it's kind of like thinking, what advice do you give to people that, because I often say to people, 50 isn't as bad as a marathon, because a marathon you're grafting, but so what do you say to people that are thinking about an ultra but haven't got there yet?
Just do it.
Easy.
Someone else's tagline, damn it. There's the famous phrase, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's that kind of thing. So unless you're one of the people that wants to go and do your first ultra and you want a podium, that's your aim, and everything unless you podium is a failure. If you're like other than that few rare people, everyone else, you're going there to complete it, not to necessarily compete. And then your competition is then your self-competition, the time that you want to beat it, and set yourself that ABC goal and things like that. And then it's kind of like, just go and do it. I from a certain angle, like the 50k, let's go with 50k ultra. The aid stations are great. It's a picnic.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, you get really well looked after, If things start going wrong, there are people at the aid stations. On a 50k ultra, there's enough aid stations. You're hopefully not going to mess up your nutrition too badly, and ultimately, just go and do it, and then put some of the training miles in, and then go and enjoy it.
Love it. Just do it.
I think you're right with that 50k. I think 50k is a nice marker in terms of if it goes wrong, you're still going to kind of drag yourself through it. You start going to 50 miles, and if you're walking for a lot of it, you can start going into the realm of being out there for a day, then, can't you? Well, like I say, the 50k, you can kind of, it can be bad, but not horrific.
And it's thing like I like half marathon and marathons. I agree with you, Steve. I think they're far worse than an ultra. It's a little bit like if you're a track athlete, what's the worst race? And I'm kind of like, it was 800 or 1500, because on an 800 you're properly going for it. You are on the red line the entire way, and it's brutal. And to me, that's 10k, half marathon. You're closer to your limit. I'm not saying you're redlining. If you're going out and doing a marathon and you can't say hi to someone as they ask you a question, you push too far. Unless you're one of the elites trying to win it. Whereas on an ultra, you get to have conversations with people. I think it's one of the. I can't decide if this is a bad thing of ultras. I listen to music. I always have, but I also like having conversations with people. So I normally, when I'm running in races, I'll have a pair of like open ear headphones, and you can just scoot them down your neck, or you can leave the music playing and still have conversations. And I can remember a couple of years ago, you'd have more and more people running with kind of in-ear headphones, and it kind of then changed that bit of not being able to have conversations with people. And like, you have the same conversation with the same person on 100 miles 5 times, because you go, oh, we already chatted. But it's those kind of things, and I think that's one of the great bits of it. Whereas on a half marathon, I think a lot of people are pushing harder, and it's a different type of pushing hard on an ultra.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, basically.
On an ultra though, you don't mind having the conversations. I was just laughing to myself then in terms of, I think you had the Everton top on at Chicago, didn't you? And some guy started trying to talk to you about Everton, and I don't think you told him to F off, but you politely refused or declined the conversation, didn't you?
You grafted out in the marathon though, and I was like, I just said, mate, I can't keep this conversation going.
Sure.
Was it Keith Wiggler? I can't remember if it was Keith on one of your podcasts or someone else, and he was saying like this race when race tactics come in, and you get to the bottom of the hill and you start asking the questions, and you're going with like the really open-ended questions. It's not a simple yes or no. It's like the other person now has to have a full sentence answer as you're kind of trying to get up a hill, and it's playing those kind of race tactics.
It's a great tactic. I like that.
He might have done that to you.
Tell me about your life, mate.
Tell me about Everton.
Tell me where you grew up. It's good
exactly.
Love that.
He's done you there, only thinking about it. We've all just realised, but he mugged you right off whoever that guy was.
I'd have gone 3:30. Honestly, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and loads of really good information around the foot care. It's something that I've always struggled with. Like, Carl will tell you how much I complain about that. It's non-stop. So great to know some stuff, and also really good to listen to your stories and actual running as well.
And it's great to see your face as well. Like, I've never seen your face. I've seen cans of Trailskin and everything else, but I've never physically seen you, so it's nice to see you as well.
The face for radio.
You should put your face on like a special edition Trailskin thingy.
Yeah, so we might start building more about as well. It's fun.
Like the Wizard of Oz, just behind a curtain.
Yeah,
brilliant. Dave's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. And we'll catch up soon.
Yeah. Gents, thank you very much. Absolute pleasure. Great to chat with you as well.
See you on the trails.
See you soon.
See you later. Cheers, boys.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?